Hi, good afternoon from Marianna. Wow, Women of Worth for another episode of Wow Voices Speak Volumes, which is the live series during the Wow Festival in order to give voices to women and men experts that they want to contribute with their field, their characteristics, as well as the expertise in their field in order to help us to be more authentic. So I'm very happy to welcome you today, Sara. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi,
How are you
everybody.
doing? How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Very excited because next week is the week.
Yes, exactly. So we don't spoil anything as yet.
Exactly.
So we have been working for a long time now. How many years been together? A couple of years or
I would
so?
say more,
Yeah,
years and a half, something like that. Yeah.
maybe 3 years. So we know each other very well, and people following Wow definitely know you already. You are the Wow woman, the star of Wow when it comes to talk about styling and as well as particular sustainable and responsible styling. So before we start to get into the details of what you do and how you're doing it, I would like you to start with a question that I had to write down because
Da,
I
da, da,
want.
da. Let's start with the question.
So we're talking about authenticity. The theme of the festival is authenticity. So my question to you is, if you walk into a room full of strangers, what's the one thing they should instantly know about who you truly are before you even say a word? How does it sound?
A very, very proper question for the topic, I would say, for authenticity. Sorry, I struggle, with the blah, blah, blah at the, at the beginning. But what I should say is people think that I'm quite strong and confident.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have something more and something different. So, as every person is not just one thing, or what I would say it's more easy, to understand is
Mm-hmm.
something that is quite bold. In my case, it might be looking strong and confident. Is there? There's this kind of layer, but it's not just that. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to be authentic, it's try to get in touch with all these layers and try
Mm-hmm.
to have a peaceful, I would say, relationship with all these layers and all these sides of our persona, of the person we are here now.
Well, so what is basically when you get into the room, in your opinion, in order to come across as a true person, so authentically yourself, what do you think? What is the advice you would give to a woman to be authentically themselves?
Not pretending, not
Mm-hmm.
to pretend being someone else just because you think that that might be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Or
do you reckon that nowadays, because we are bombarded also from this topic, authenticity, and the reason why I'm saying that is actually the reason why I call this the theme of this year is authenticity is because I disliked for the last 5 years in marketing as a buzzword, everybody talking about authenticity, authenticity, and we ended up being very fake in the sense that. We need to portray a perfection image of ourselves, no flaws, especially for women in business. The point is that what you see instead is becoming completely different. So you say, where is the authentic meaning of being authentic? So that's why at Wow we want to bring to the table these conversations, saying regaining the authentic meaning of being authentic. So what do you think that the pressure of being authentic actually is becoming more, is giving apprehension, is giving a sort of fear to become ourselves because people say, okay, I need to be authentic, but maybe I'm not authentic enough or I'm not good as being authentic. So what would you suggest then in order to come across in an authentic way, the simplest way how a woman should could instead wear the authenticity without these layers to get across instead as unauthentic?
Well, Marianna, we'll go back to what I already said. I mean, I said earlier, try to have as much as possible a peaceful relationship, which is not easy, to what you are and how you are, the way you are here now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person I am right now, it became, that person thanks or because all the chapters till today. But a lot, it's still, I personally still struggling with some chapters, because sometimes we think that it's not very comfortable what we have done in the past or the choices we are doing in the present. So this kind of uncomfortable relationship with ourselves, so it's becoming our enemy, in other words, it does make this kind of, how can I say, not feeling authentic and feeling, I would say, sometimes a little bit lost. Because I've been told many times from clients or for other women, Sara, I don't really know where I am right now because I lost track somehow. Something happened. And because of this potentially very important event, occasion in my life, I now feel a little bit lost, very far away from being authentic in myself. So I rather prefer pretending being someone else because sometimes it's easier. You copy and paste somehow. You mentioned actually something very real, and what happens constantly. We scroll up and down on Instagram. Our brain is constantly, getting this kind of images and informations and messaging, and potentially some of them are cool, trendy, and we like them. So sometimes it's much easier copying and pasting because they're cool and we want to be cool. We want to be accepted. There's nothing wrong in that. But copying and pasting and layering over layering, all this kind of fake, let me say, news doesn't really help, especially in those moments we don't have that strong connection inside out.
And this is when it's kicking in then the styling. So basically, because you were talking about layering, and sometimes we try to use the style or the fashion, generally speaking, the clothing, someone to hide themselves, some others instead portraying a different authenticity. So something that, as you say, copy and paste the style of a celebrity or the favorite, actor, or the style that is actually not aligned with your true self, for your lifestyle, but more than anything else, your personality. So I'd like to uncover with you a little bit more about it, because we are going to have a workshop next week here in London, in Marylebone. We have an event in collaboration also with Jill. So we say hi to Jill.
Hi, Jill.
She's part of the team with Sara and myself, where we are going to embrace the authenticity. So to do so, we are going to do an exercise with Jill, and then with Sara, we are going to embrace our style. So I would like to share with our audience, what is then for you the struggle and actually the way how styling instead is the way, instead of copy and pasting others, and instead of layering our authenticity, how you instead embrace and unveil at the same time the authenticity of the woman.
Everything, I love this question, by the way, thank you. Everything, I would say that everything starts from the idea, and the majority of the times people are stuck in that fashion is vain and superficial. Fashion can't help, really. Fashion isn't a proper tool to be used to be you, to reflect yourself deeply. I've been told so many times something like that. Fashion is vain, it's superficial. So I don't want to be a fashion addicted, because people go from one extreme to another. So I ended up thinking that you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know that fashion can help you through a long process and can be one of your uncles, can be one of your allies, can be your best friend. If you know how to go through this conscious process. If you don't know that and you keep thinking that it's vain and superficial, that will be vain and superficial. And it's true. It's true. It's vain and superficial. So it's just on the surface, just on the first layer. But empowering ourselves as women, but as individuals, generally speaking, comes from different perspectives, I strongly believe. It comes from education, it comes from money, it comes from energy, it comes from putting efforts in what we like, in our hobbies, in plenty. I mean, the list is quite long. Fashion is one of those tools, as I said, and best friends. So if you start looking at fashion as a ally and as a best friend, you might be able to start thinking differently about fashion, about styling, and of course about the relationship in between these two ingredients and yourself.
Interesting. The point that I think is that age. Anyway, sometimes it's a matter of personality, but age sometimes kicks in, and you say, you know what? I don't care about the trends, or I will just be who I am. So that becomes not a conscious process, but actually unveiling what is the true essence of yourself. Why I'm saying that? Because I think at a stage of your life, you want styling, or basically what is you wearing for personal life, so for your lifestyle, or for your personal business style. You don't want to think too much about what to wear, how to wear, because
Absolutely.
if on top of your day-to-day routine, your commitments, there is a lot of energy thinking about your wardrobe, what pick up and what is suits you, that is empowering you, is giving you the confidence as an individual, as a woman. And on top of that, you need to perform, because you need the right clothes to perform. How is important at a stage saying, okay, I don't want to be conscious, that means strategic in my wardrobe, but actually I want to be able to dress what I like, but still be me, and in the meantime be professional and perform.
You nailed it down, my love. And that's exactly, the core of what I do, with my clients. So I'll tell you something. If you need a lawyer, if you need like a support from a lawyer, you go to a lawyer, right? If you need something for your taxes or anything like that, you go to an accountant. So we find experts around us that can help us to go through a certain process. Styling and stylists do exactly the same. We help through the process, and I try to make my client's life much easier. So what you have said, which is exactly what 99% of the times I heard, from my clients, Sara, don't make me even think of something more in my to-do list. I'm very busy. My life is quite demanding, back to back, blah, blah, blah. In the morning, I just want bam, bam, bam. I don't want any other thought in my life. So let me tell you something. When you go grocery shopping, the majority of the times you have a list, and the list makes that kind of action smooth and easier. And potentially that the supermarket, because you go to the same supermarket over and over, so you know exactly where you find what you need. When it comes to wardrobe, and that action actually makes the action of buying stuff easier, smoother, and faster. It's the same when it comes to wardrobe. You need a system in your wardrobe, clear, which is not the system for everybody, because my life is different than yours, right? And different than who is listening to us right now. So the system needs to reflect everyone's needs and priorities. There's not just one, it's very tailored. So the system will give you that kind of feeling. You open your wardrobe, oh yes, I know what is going on. I don't need any wasting of time or whatever. I just take what I need here now to support me, to support my body and everything through the day till the end.
I love it because that is can be very stressful sometimes.
Oh
Anyway, I
yeah.
do get that if you need to do a public speaking or there is an event, you plan or you buy in advance if you don't have the right clothes or the ones that you think for a dress code that is not aligned with what is request. So you're going to buy something new. But unless it's not that occasion that you don't plan and you don't prepare yourself the night before, you can't think. I mean, for me, it would be very hard thinking on top of what I have to do. Also, what I wear tomorrow morning.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the point, Marianna. So I constantly been told, Sara, I don't see the reason to work with you, to hire, a stylist, because my life is quite plain. I do, the same things over and over. I go to work, I have the school run, I meet up with friends, but nothing very exciting. I'm not a VIP person. And my answer is, well, not just VIP needs clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Not just very, wealthy people need to wear accordingly and feel great in what they wear. You are a person, you are a busy woman, you do whatever you want to do in your life, you deserve any kind of support. So you deserve being helped by your wardrobe. So again, you don't have to waste too much time in front of the wardrobe or the chest of drawers or the chairs or wherever you keep your clothes, because it could be the side of your bed. I've seen a lot of wardrobes in my
Yeah.
life. Sometimes again we are so in a rush that we just throw everything on the armchair next, to the bed, and that's
Absolutely.
absolutely not healthy.
Guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty too.
Exactly. But anyway, even though I remember I helped one of my clients just creating the system in that kind of environment on the armchair.
Really?
Right? Yeah, yeah,
On the
absolutely.
chair.
On the armchair, So
Oh,
it
nice.
was very nice. In the end, it was like a piece of art because
Oh,
we put,
wow.
on the back of the armchair. It was, I told you, every area where you keep your clothes deserve a kind of, how can I say, a kind of,
It's a
a
temple.
way. Say it again.
A temple. It's a temple.
Exactly. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Sarah, I don't have a big wardrobe. It doesn't matter. It's your wardrobe, and it needs to fit into your lifestyle. So that's the system I meant, earlier. Try to figuring out how to fit yourself into that wardrobe and the other way around. And that's the best combination. It's a relationship in the end of the day, despite what people might think, but it's a quite, how can I say, deep relationship with your wardrobe.
Mm. So now, who is Sara really? And what do you do? Yeah. This is your authentic moment.
So, who am I?
Really, really, really.
Really,
Yeah.
I'm an individual who is still in work in progress, that's for sure. I turned 42 years ago, and I highlight that because I strongly believe my mindset changed when I turned 40. Might be something, I don't know, coming from society, coming from inside out, whatever, but it happened. I changed my life before turning 40. I made a quite big change in my life, and I'm still in that kind of learning process. It's like before 40. I'm not joking. I was joking. I was
Having
rehearsing my
fun.
life.
Yeah. Having
I
good
was
time.
rehearsing.
It was a rehearsal time.
It
You
was
were
a
rehearsing.
rehearsal time. Now it's like, oh, that's the one. This is feeling, deeply, and try to understand and acknowledge, a little bit more what is important and what is not really important. So less dramas, try to be, as you said, easier, not focusing on too much, but what is really important for me right now.
Yeah.
And fashion, again, I'm lucky because I've been working and styling, for a long time. So it seriously became my best friend. But every time, fashion surprised me.
Mm.
When I learn something new, when I help someone else, and well, I love what I do in the end of the day, that. I definitely love helping women feeling how they deserve, because that's the, I
So
would say, the core. We don't think that we deserve feeling great, but we deserve it. Yes, we
yes,
do.
definitely. Definitely. And actually, this is what I was about to ask, but in a way, you already answered it. But what was the moment where, in a personal life or professional life, that has changed something that you say, you know what, I I want to be authentic. I don't need to not pretend, because you are never pretending to be someone else, but what is the moment, the light bulb moment where you say, you know what, I don't renounce to myself to do what the society is expecting from me? Because I can imagine in your industry they expect you always be on top of the fashion, wearing certain clothes, or be, the coolest woman in the room. But what I like about you is actually what you mean by your job. I would say job title, but it's more than just job title. So what was the moment really? Okay, you said that when you turn 40, but hasn't happened anything else in the personal life or professional life? You say, you know what, I don't want to give up myself. I want to really go across for who I really are, because that is going to make me happy.
Love it. Love this question as well. So it was end of my school. I got my qualification at the London School of Styling a long time ago. So when I became officially stylist, the idea was, okay, so Sara, now you do everything to make it happen, right? So I started with all the glamorous London Fashion Week and catwalk and show and photo shoots, everything, because I was very, how can I say, I really wanted to get into the styling. What is this styling? And then let's go back to your question. One day I realized I love fashion, but I don't like this fashion.
Yeah.
I don't like the drama queens. Too many drama queens. I on the same stage. So you can imagine it's not easy when you have the photographer, the director, the art director, and then you have the designer, and then you have maybe the head of the stylist and yourself. Too many drama queens on the same stage. And I was like, no. And I didn't, on top of that, I didn't recognize myself into that kind of perfect
Hmm.
fashion, idea of fashion. I remember that my models, and I'm still in touch with a few of them. Amazing, amazing girls, amazing women, and again, I had, when you work on the backstage, they are human beings. They are not just extremely beautiful, women walking, on the catwalk. They are women like us. So they were eating, going to the toilet, and doing stuff like everybody. And I had a very interesting talk with some of them, right? But again, they were all the same, mainly the same size, the same structure, the same. So, from my perspective as a stylist, it was, where's the challenge here? I want to
Hmm.
style real bodies. I want to deal with real people, because I always say, how can I say, I'm not very glamorous to be a stylist. I mean, I'm not polished all the time. I'm
Hmm.
not glamorous all the time. I go with the messy, hair,
Bands. Yeah.
and exactly, and I try to be authentic as much as I can, because I want to sell what is real. I
Hmm.
don't want people look at my Instagram or my pictures and thinking, oh my God, she's that. And then they meet up with me in real life. It's like, What's wrong with this? I mean, there's
I
not an
totally get it.
no?
I totally get it. Because
That's
also I think women that are in business, as I was saying, sometimes they have not really the time to focus on their personal styling, and definitely that can impact. They say if I don't do in a certain way, it's impacting my personal branding, and that means basically people they don't trust me, don't like me, and so on. But again, for sure, if you are a leader, the what you wear and the image you portray is talking about your business, because we
absolutely
always discuss that. The point is that I agree with you. When in real life you are something different from your polished website or your Instagram feed, was the point. And this is not something that I'm saying to shame people. That's not the case. It's just to point out what is the attitude as a women we sometimes do. We say if there is something spots that we need to come out with a video, we say no, I don't have the lipstick, I need to make the lipstick first, should have gone to the hairdresser. So we are a little bit reluctant. Exactly. So, and which I understand, because if you feel comfortable with that, that's fine. But when you become a slave, that is different story. So it's important to keep up with your image you portray. But sometimes even my Instagram feed, if today I have something to say and I have for any reason no lipstick, or because I do I did the color analysis, I know what are the best colors on me, blah blah. Now it's become very easy for me to choose. I have one or two lipsticks, I know which one to use, to tone down, to instead stand out with different red instead of the beige, blah blah blah. But if instead I need to wait until I am perfect to capture that moment with a video or with a
tiring,
it's tiring.
extremely
And
tiring.
the worst thing is that that moment, once it's gone. Tomorrow
It's
morning,
gone.
I'm not going to talk again about the thing that I felt yesterday. It's like one day you said, and next day you're happy. You are not going to say yesterday I was sad, or you can say it, but you're saying it in a happy way. So that means
Yeah,
that what you're saying, you are not putting yourself 100% in. And that is the reason why my even company for wow feed is not that polished, because I want to come across as authentic. So if we're talking about wow being wow inside out, that means that we want to express what is inside, and that makes us wow. What's the point to be waiting for that moment, unless it's official an official announcement, something official that you prepare, you need to work on it. Of course, that is part of as important as means that you respecting your audience, you give the time to yourself to prepare and talk to your audience. So is to me, this is the way you respect your audience. You need to
yeah,
be prepared and you deliver. But if you need to say something easy regarding yourself, or regarding something which is important to you and you want to share with your audience, why waiting for the best moment where we are well dressed up, or we have the best lipstick on, or whatever? So, and I think that's the reason why the Instagram, despite initially was out there for artists to showcase their work, artwork, and everything, now it's become like a online glam magazine, which we are being imprisoned,
yes,
and we imprison ourselves. Actually, is also the way how we judge others, especially in
yeah,
Italy, where when there is someone showing up on social media, we wait for that moment to attack and say something that basically can offend or can bring someone else down. What is your view about social media? Because I know what is your
yeah, exactly. And I'll be quite honest with everyone. Again, social medias are tools. Internet, generally speaking, has been since it hit, a very important tools to connect among other. However, it depends how you use it. It
Yeah.
depends how you decide to introduce this kind of tools into your life. If you spend, as you said, all your life, your time to hate people you don't know them, and where's the point? I mean, where's the point to waste your time and other people's time just judging, just criticizing, I mean, it's insane. Seriously, Marianna, it's insane how people wait for the next criticizing someone else.
Yeah.
I strongly believe they are like that, the okay, I can hate you now, and they feel very glad and they feel very proud, because you know what, there's this idea that I'm honest, is my idea, is my opinion. Yes,
They
you
count.
can absolutely speak up your mind. However, you have someone else in front of you. You're not talking to a wall. You're not talking to someone
Absolutely.
who doesn't have any kind of feelings, emotions, and that's not respectful a lot. So I respect the fact that you want to speak up your mind, as I should do, but in that kind of being very self-orientated, because that's the truth, you're not on your own on the earth. So
Absolutely. Yeah, because also when we talk about be yourself, be authentic, looks like that there is a space only for us. So also
yeah,
that is a theme of a conversation. The sense that, of course, here is a reclaim of being authentic, but the way how the world is moving and aware about how important is being ourselves, aligned with ourselves. But looks like everything is becoming me-centric. So
yeah,
I am
it's
the most
me all the time. It's me. It's the ego. It's like highlighting, the ego extremely. And I'm not saying that it's something that I don't, how can I say, I don't step into sometime, because everybody likes being on stage and spotlight, and being recognized and stuff like that for many reasons. So it's not, as you said, blaming, it's not the matter of blaming who does that. It's just recognizing that sometimes it became an addiction. It became like like a kind of disease.
yeah,
Let's call
narcissism.
it properly. You know what I mean?
And
So
narcissism can end up with narcissism. So
exactly,
everything, yeah, is
yeah,
around yourself. And so I think this is really the challenge. That's why we are here in conversation talking about being authentic is the real challenge, as much as it means real, that means it's tangible, something that you can see, but also social, because it's a social media, but it's also in the real life. And so now you told us who you really are, but and what you do. So we
what do I?
know that people doesn't know you. So what do you do?
So as you can read in here, I love introducing myself as a style interpreter. Why? Because people think style interpreter, what does it mean? Well, I like help people interpreting or reinterpreting themselves into clothing, which is a process, as we already mentioned. It's not something that comes overnight, because you've been thinking about yourself in a certain way. Oh, Sarah, please don't make me wear X, Y, Z. Oh, I like comfort. All the narratives, we kept going over and over in our lives. It's quite difficult understanding how can I interpreting, myself really. And it's like when I used to be an actor a long time ago when I was young, and the moment we were choosing the dress code or the outfit for that character was one of the most important moments. I'm not joking, to create your character, create your being on the stage. And it was not because you were fake, it was even different. I remember myself asking one of the tailors, saying, "Listen, I can't wear this blazer because it's not me." She was like, "That's interesting, Sara. Let me help you in that. Let me help you to make this blazer supporting, your character, yourself, on stage. Because in the end of the day, even if we're playing a role, that is us. I'm playing that role. Sara was, playing that role. So again, in life, and how many times we are playing roles, in life. So why shouldn't we do it consciously, going through that kind of interpreting moments, and path to understand better how we can be ourselves in the world, in the stage, on the stage of our life.
That is amazing because I can't remember how you call it in English. There is the game that you play. Dinner with the Murderer. You heard of it?
La madre, no?
Dinner with Murderer. Anyway, basically, what's happening? If you are a group, you can set up. So there is the organizer is organizing the characters. So there is a murderer. So at
Oh,
the
I
end,
see, I see, I see. Yes, of course. I don't even remember how we call it in Italian, but anyway,
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So basically, for who doesn't know it, it's a game where there are all the guests that attend during the dinner, or you can have a special dinner, and you play what is on the script.
Yeah.
So there is a plot. They tell you more or less the plot, but each of the guests, they are playing different parts. And of course, who is the murderer will know because they say what he has to do. But the other characters also have to play the role. They say you need to engage with this character, not with the other one. Engage with this and not with the other one. You need to. Me, I'm not an actress. I have never had an experience, but believe me, that was powerful because. I really felt myself being in that character.
Yeah.
So I was concentrating. So okay, now I need to answer to these women in particular in a way. With this guy, I need instead to play, the role in a different way. And actually, it was a very good exercise because you feel authorized to be someone else because that is the play. I had to play the role because in order to make all this work. And that was fantastic. That means basically, in my opinion, instead saying regaining the role that we have is like when you align with yourself, I can't say your own script, but the structure, what you are, your values, what you stand for. And then when there is an opportunity, it's going to be in a natural way, but actually your script comes so natural to react in a way that says it's not by the script, for the
It's me.
example,
Yeah.
by me. And so I think the way of being authentic, it becomes a sort of claim to remind us, I am authentic. This is what I have to wear every morning. My authenticity doesn't mean covering my authentic, but wearing the clothes that makes me be authentic. And this is a reminder to play their role. What do you think about it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we go from one role to another, and I don't think that there's nothing wrong in that. Because I've been told, yes, Sarah, but that's fake. You do it even if you don't have that kind of consciousness. It does happen unconsciously. I'm not the same person with everyone in my life, but it doesn't mean that I'm fake. It means that, and I go back to the first question, the majority of the times people think that I'm strong and very self confident. Well, yes, but not just that. So sometimes I'm more confident, sometimes I'm a little bit like the little girl, still in my, somewhere. And dealing with that little girl actually is one of the most important challenges in my life, even if I'm 42. Because sometimes we are all,
Or your superpower.
Or
Sometimes
my superpower. That's the one. Or my superpower. So I started thinking of that little girl and hugging her. I mean, picturing in my mind, because the little girl, has been through some regular stuff, traumas, and we have been there with families and teenagers. Or during, being a teenager has been quite tough for everybody. Let's face it. It's not an easy moment because you are completely all over the places. You don't know who is this body, putting weight and putting volumes, but you are very, very uncomfortable with that. So I still remember those moments. I used to blame them for a long time, and say, no, shut up. You're not there anymore. I'm an adult. I can't be there. You know what? Why? That little girl, has been through quite complicated stuff when she was a little girl. It's still there, but that doesn't mean that I should behave as a little girl. So it's just, don't worry, my little girl. I can help you now. I'm an adult.
Fantastic. So with you, always exciting talking about, I think we can, for who is interested, definitely can join us in conversation on the 19th of March. Yeah, here in London, Rimadesio showroom in Marylebone. So as I was saying, when we opened in collaboration with Jill and with Sara and myself, we are going to host a special workshop talking about style and how to embrace our authentic style. So what, if you can just anticipate to our audience before we go, what's going to happen with your session?
So it's going to happen something very concrete and straightforward, because I want people get something, in their hands. Why? Because again, styling and fashion, there's a lot of blah, blah, blah around styling and fashion. People think that it's extremely complicated. It's like something very far away. That's not the case. So I seriously want people just finish with that, with the activities and the workshop, and thinking, hopefully, oh, I'll bring this home actually with me. Just one tip, 2 tips. But I want to bring all of that home because I want people feel into that kind of being concrete, and doing stuff because it's important for them to the way they feel and they look.
So do we have to wear some particular or what is our dress code to join you?
Something that they, how can I say, something that they really like, because it's going to be a very important sharing moment. So I would reckon wearing something comfortable, but not comfortable in a way, leggings and oversized jumper. I mean, if you want to go for it, go for it. But comfortable in a way it can resonate with them.
Okay, fantastic. So before I close, I would like to ask you basically now, Sara, of 40 years ago, 40 years old, Sara, what would you say to the little girl of 8 years ago? 8 years old. I'm a little bit fluish today, so I don't feel so well.
Okay, so when I was 8.
Yes. So what would you say now at your Sara when she was at 8? What would you say to her?
I would say, don't worry, it will pass.
Yeah. And what would you say now to 80 years old, Sara?
80?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 80. Thank you for trying.
Thank you for trying. Fantastic. Anyway, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Sara. So I'll see you next week in London.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, at 5:30 at Rimadesio. I'll leave in the comment box the ticket link for you guys to join us. And thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I've just noticed 45 minutes for me.
Yes, we go, people. Don't worry, we go.
Exactly.
With Marianna, it's always like that.
Exactly. No, you are as well.
Really, it's me. It's always because of Sara.
Because when we talk about style, it's not a vanity element. Actually, it's the opposite. It's the expression of who we really are. So
Yeah,
I get so excited. I love talking to you about it. So thank you very much, Sara, and I'll see you next week.
See you next week on the 19th. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.